What is the impact of COVID on our brains and particularly how we are making memories? Hey, my name's Tim. I'm the founder here at the Memory Makers Academy, and I help parents curate a set of memories for their kids so that they can really inform their identity and we can raise confident, resilient, adventurous and brave kids of the future. So if that sounds like you, don't forget to hit subscribe. And in the meantime, tell me in the comments below, what's been your experience of COVID lockdowns? Has it felt like it's just gone like that, or has it dragged on and on? A lot of people report back that in the time of COVID, in all the lockdowns, time feels like it's slowing down. It feels like every day is just lasting for hours. Part of this is down to the way in which the brain processes things. Moments of distress, unhappiness, tend to just feel like they're lasting forever. If you've ever broken your leg and you're waiting for the ambulance to arrive, it feels like forever. And yet, when it comes to moments of happiness and joy and pleasure, those moments seem to just pass by like that. And with all the lockdowns in COVID, it's very much felt like that. Moments of distress, feeling like things are never going to change, and so time feels like it's slowing down in the moment. And yet when we're looking back and we're reflecting on COVID, it feels like it's just gone like that. And part of the reason why is because we've just not had chance to make many memories in that moment. When you're younger, it feels like forever as you're waiting for Christmas to arrive. Like it just can't come soon enough. And yet when you're older, Christmas is just gone and then all of a sudden it is there again the next year. Why does that happen? Well, it's down to the way in which the brain is taking in information when you are younger. When you're young, everything is new, and so your brain is constantly learning and it's taking in new information, new sights, new smells, and it's having to process each of those new things into a memory. When you go to the beach for the first time, all of those smells, the sounds, the noises, all of that is being committed to memory, and it's a very mindful process. As you get older, when you've been to the beach 30, 40, 50 times, instead of taking in everything, it just says, okay, we are at the beach again. I know what the beach is like, and so it chunks things into a block of, this is beach time. So now that we're adults, how do we go back to that childlike state and make better memories as we're going through life? The big key is often it's about mindfulness. Are you present in the moment? Are you taking in information, the sights, the smells, the sound? And often that requires you to make a decision. This is something which I want to remember, to capture. Whether you do that in a mental picture or you take a picture with your phone or a video, that process needs to be there in your brain as opposed to just being a walk through the woods and you kind of just taking it as it is and you're just going through life. Mindfulness is the key. And this is why the 5-minute memory, which is what we teach in the Memory Makers Academy, works so well to actually create a memory. You are deciding in the moment, this is a particular time which I really want to capture. My kid is doing something which really is going to help inform their self-identity later on. They're being adventurous. I want to capture this time. You're then having to think about it. What angles are you going to capture to actually tell a visual story? And you've got a 5-minute window to kind of do this. Your brain is automatically starting to make connections, seeing this as a moment of importance. Later on that evening, when you come to edit that thing together, because you've already started to build those connections in your brain, those neurons are firing, in the editing process, you are rebuilding that story in your head. And you're going to build a stronger memory around it. And then later on, when you're rewatching that film, then at that stage, your brain is really cementing that moment into your mind. All of those connections and neurons are firing, and this is a moment which you will then remember. And it's part of the reason why often the films that parents create of their kids aren't that memorable later on. Often when parents are capturing videos of their kids, it's just a minute-long video and there's no real thought that has to go into it. As a result, your brain kind of just thinks, it's just another moment, I'm just going to forget it later on. And so you will find with those times, you are just flicking through your phone, you'll see a 1-minute video and you'll find yourself scrubbing through to see, was there anything good that happened in that one? Because you just can't remember. Most of the time now with the films that I've edited, just looking at the thumbnail takes you right back into that moment and you can remember what happened and your brain will build further connections and it will remember other stuff around it that happened that day. So if you really want to improve your memory, the big thing is being mindful in that moment, taking real note of what was going on, the sights, the smells, the sounds, and if you can capture it in a way which does all of that, builds those connections in your brain, and then you can revisit that. Then at that stage, you'll be able to really create memories that last. Now, one of the things with film is that it does enable you also to transfer that memory to someone else. I'm going to talk about that in another video, but that's where film gets really exciting as opposed to photography or journaling or all those other things that we do as parents to try and make life memorable for our kids. So, hope that helps. I will see you in the next video.